So, Mauritius versus Panama, a lot of people are confused because some benefits are similar and some benefits are better for certain people. I'm going to discuss which one. Is it Mauritius or Panama that you should start? How they differ, what are the advantages, disadvantages, and I'm going to discuss my personal favorite pick. Now, I've made a separate video for our members, which is discussing if Panama provides citizenship. That's $1 million question because it does have a dateless, lifelong, permanent residency. But the big question is, can you get citizenship at the end, right? So I've discussed this in detail, in depth, given my assessment and analysis. You can take a look at this video. Again, this is not going to be legal advice. It's just my assessment, analysis, and educational content. You can return later and take a look at that. If you are interested, you can join the channel membership and be an insider. But there's a lot of interesting content based on a lot of questions that I see floating around, right? A lot of confusions, a lot of misinformation out there. So I try to provide my perspective and analysis on different topics so you can take a look at that. But let's get back to this video. I'm going to discuss some advantages of Mauritius, and then I'm going to discuss some advantages of Panama, and then I'm going to talk about which one makes more sense. If you had to pick one, which is the right residency, in my opinion, to consider. Now, Mauritius has great trust advantages. So if you're opening a trust, if you are a beneficiary, you're appointing a trustee. Your trustee is in the foreground. And as a beneficiary, there's a lot of protections in place for you and your other fellow beneficiaries. Maybe it's your associates, maybe it's your family members. So it does have a lot of inland protection. If you're someone from South Asia or who travels to South Asia, Mauritius is a friendly immigration system, right? So when you're traveling to Mauritius, it's closer from South Asia and it's a very nice country. It's safe, it's friendly. In and out of the country is a breeze. The immigration folks are pretty friendly. It's not a stressful immigration that you would encounter in the West. So if you are spending a couple of months, Mauritius makes a lot of sense. Some of the top banks are in Mauritius. It's not plenty, it's a small country, but there are really decent banking options in Mauritius. Mauritius does offer a permanent residency. If you're 50 or over, then there's a special category. You have a lifelong 10 years renewable option, no physical presence needed. And then if you're less than 50, then opening a business bank account, you can get a 3 years lifetime renewable permit residency in Mauritius. If you want to learn more about what are these specifics, how do you qualify for this type of residency, you can check out this video. This has a detailed assessment on this. But here we are comparing the advantages and picking a winner, right? Secondly, you have tax advantages as well, depending upon the type of setup that you're creating in Mauritius. In Panama, there are some distinct advantages as well. Similar to Mauritius, it does offer you a permanent residency. The Panama permanent residency is dateless, it's lifelong, and the biggest advantage is that it uses USD as the main currency. It's a safe, beautiful country, and that's not towards Asia, that's on the other side, that's closer to, let's say, US or Canada or Mexico. So if that's the place where you come from, or that's where you're going to be for part-time in the year, then Panama is very close by, right? Now, naturalization in Mauritius versus naturalization in Panama, both can be applied after 5 years. I would say if I had to compare, then Panama would make a lot of sense. But again, you got to show some logical ties. You got to have some logical connection. I've discussed this in depth in the video that I'm talking about. Now, when you compare the two, they offer similar advantages. Panama is a much populated country. The expat population in Panama is a lot larger. A lot of people move to Panama. When you compare that with Mauritius, Mauritius has a lot of tourists from South Asia. There isn't as many expats living there full time. So if you're looking if you don't mind the tourists coming in and out, and you want to be an expat living by yourself in Mauritius, maybe with your family, maybe you're seeking a partner, or maybe let's say you have a girlfriend or a wife and you want to use that as a base for a month or two, then it's a very different feel. It's an exotic location that you can consider as opposed to Panama. Now, from a reputational perspective, I think Mauritius makes more sense than Panama. Panama, because of the Panama Papers, because of the gray-listed jurisdiction, the gray-listed reputation, banking transactions with Panama might be questioned, right? So there will be some questions. It's not an issue. It's not a problem. As long as you're not doing anything illegal or anything wrong, you're not going to face difficulties. It's just that the other bank that's either transferring you money or you're transferring that money to, they're obviously going to see where that money transfer is coming from. When you compare and contrast this with Mauritius, Mauritius is slightly better in terms of banking reputation, in my opinion. Businesses doing business with a Mauritian company might be better, faster as compared to, let's say, a business trying to deal with a Panama corporation or company. Which is a winner? The clear winner out of the two is if you're from South Asia and you want to spend a month or two in a year outside and you want to create a safe jurisdiction, a legal safe haven for yourself, for diversification, for legal protection, just, to get away, then Mauritius is the winner, right? And it has a lifelong permanent residency option at any point in time. Panama or Mauritius or both. You want to get started with your residency application. We have excellent attorneys in both jurisdiction and multiple attorneys in both jurisdiction. You can always click the link, book a call. We can discuss which one is the best or both and get you started with the respective attorneys, right? Now, if you are from US or if you're from Canada or if you are from anywhere in the West and you're comparing proximities, you're not really traveling to South Asia at all, then I would say Panama might make sense because it's easier to commute, right? It's a central hub for a lot of countries. It's a transit point into Latin America. So if you're striking one or two Latin residencies in that area, in that continent, right, in Latin America, South America, then Panama makes a lot of sense because USD is the main currency. Pathway to citizenship, again, watch that video. It talks a lot more. And you have a dateless, lifelong, permanent residency. The way to qualify for Panama, I have made several videos on this, so I'm not going to repeat it, but there are two critical options. One is the travel passport, and second is a real permanent residency, right? A dateless, lifelong, permanent residency, which can then lead to citizenship at the end. So you have multiple options in both countries. If you're from the West and if you had to pick one, I would say Panama is the winner. If you're from South Asia and you had to pick, then I would say Mauritius is the winner. Again, it does not hurt to have both in your pocket because they both don't have any physical presence required to maintain just the residency. Now, before you go, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any important information or details because I keep updating, I keep breaking news as it happens. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and catch you in the next one.